Hello. Welcome. It's been a while since I've made a video. So this video was actually not the video that I planned to come back with. I was actually working on something else before I had to take a little break. However, this topic is very trending right now, and I figured, since nobody asked me,
Nobody asked you, Patrice!
I just share my thoughts about it. And that is about the new upcoming live-action Disney movie, The Little Mermaid. So, as we all know right now, this new version of The Little Mermaid has casted Hailey Bailey. Is that how you pronounce her name? A black woman as Ariel. And the world erupted into chaos. People are acting absolutely insane about this. Yeah, that whole Ukraine situation is pretty bad. Yep, yeah, it really sucks. Hey, did you happen to see the teaser for the new Little Mermaid movie? I haven't. Yeah, it actually looked pretty cool. Like, you saw the underwater stuff and they made Ariel black. They did what? How dare they? Okay, well, it's just a movie. They just ruined my childhood. Well, how? That doesn't make sense. There, you see? The whole world is just going to Okay, I'm calling your therapist now. Hello, you're speaking with the therapist. Yes, hello, I'm calling about your client. They're having a mental breakdown, I think. Mermaids can't be black, mermaids can't be black. Did they just find out about the new Little Mermaid movie? They did? How did you know? I've been getting these calls a lot. So I've seen quite some YouTube videos about this topic, and from what I've seen so far, these videos are mostly about just the idea of having a black mermaid and whether she should be black or not. But I want to take a slightly different approach to this topic and just talk about what this could potentially mean for the story. Because one very important plot point is that Ariel becomes human for a significant part of the story. And what I'm curious about is whether or not Ariel's skin color is going to affect that part of the story, because I'm assuming that when she becomes human she'll still be black. I think it all depends on how Disney decides to build this human world and the social constructs within this world, and as of now we don't know anything about that. I looked up the cast of the movie and I saw that Prince Eric will be played by a white man, but I couldn't find any specific information about the other human roles in this film. Also, a lot of cast members are still rumored. So, also I saw that Melissa McCarthy is going to play Ursula, and I didn't know that. So I'm very curious to see how she will portray her. I think it could be fun. I think Melissa McCarthy is just very fit to play like a Disney villain. So I'm curious to see that. But let's get back to the story, why it would matter what Ariel's skin color is, which I think depends on the world within the story. Now, first of all, where is the story going to take place? So the original story is written by Hans Christian Andersen, and therefore it's kind of believed that the story should take place in Denmark, but they might as well choose to set the story in a fictional country. I mean, they never really made it clear in the cartoon version where it takes place. Or maybe like they did with the adaptation of The Princess and the Frog, which in the Disney version it's set in New Orleans. They could like take a similar approach to that. Maybe it will take place in like the Caribbean, which I believe the mermaid lore has its roots. So I think that would actually be very cool. Second of all, what kind of society are they going to portray in this movie? You come to say hello. Yes, he wants some attention. Yes. Wanna sit with me? Come. Good boy. Okay. What was I talking about? Alright, the society in the world. So when Ariel is going to land as a human, will she be the only one with dark skin? If the story does take place in Denmark, then that could be a possibility. Is she going to stand out, or are there going to be more characters, human characters with black skin? There are several ways for this story to go. Yes. It's possible that the movie will create an idealistic society, yes, where people don't care about race, and Ariel won't be an outcast for that matter. Won't she? No. Which would be nice, I think, to show a kind of idealistic society that we should all just kind of work for to accomplish for ourselves. However, that world would only make sense if other characters, human characters besides Ariel, would also be black, and we just don't know if that's the case. If it's not, then it would be quite unrealistic if the other humans wouldn't comment on Ariel's looks, because she would stand out. Which brings us to another option for this world in this movie. If they make the society within this movie similar to our society, then Ariel might experience racism in this movie. Especially if there are no other black people, or maybe there are black people but they also experience racism just like Ariel. Imagine how sad that would be if Ariel sacrifices her voice so she could fit in with the humans, but then she still doesn't fit in because of her skin color. That would be very sad. If they went this way with the story, then that might be a potential to send a message about racism. We all know Disney has a lot to make up for when it comes to racism. So this means that either Ariel's skin color is going to have some influence on the story, or it's just going to have no influence at all. It really depends on what direction the movie is going to take, and as of now we don't know that, so there isn't anything really to say about this movie. Anyway, so those are my thoughts about the upcoming movie. Whether they go for a realistic or an idealistic world, I'm very curious to see what direction this movie is going to take. So that's actually why I do want to watch this movie. So far, I'm not a fan of the live action remakes of Disney. I liked the first one, the Cinderella, but the thing is, with that movie, it didn't really feel like it was supposed to be a live action version of the cartoon. It felt like its own thing, if that makes sense. And every live action version that came after that, it just felt like they were trying really hard to recreate those magical moments of the cartoons, and it didn't just work. It just didn't work. I was so disappointed when they made Beauty and the Beast. The cartoon is still one of my favorites. And the only positive thing I have to say about the live action version is that it looked pretty. I found both Belle and the Beast such unlikable characters. Like, the only likable character in the movie was like Gaston in the first half of the movie before he suddenly became evil. But before that, he was actually very nice, and like he stood up for Belle against the townspeople, and she was just like so rude to him for no reason. I didn't like that movie. So anyway, I didn't like that movie, so I'll just stick with the cartoon version. And that brings me to another point about all of this nonsense about Disney ruining The Little Mermaid, because it's just a new version of the story. You can still go and watch the old one. It doesn't change your life as it is now that they've made another version of the character that's black. You know, when there's like a specific kind of food, like a candy that you really like and you always buy it, but then suddenly they change the recipe and it doesn't taste the same anymore and it's ruined. This isn't like that, because unlike the new candy, you can still go and watch the old movie. It hasn't been replaced. If you don't like it, you can ignore it. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. I really don't understand why people get so upset about this, because we've been doing this forever. Like, we've been retelling old stories, but like a bit different every time. Take Peter Pan. Like, there are so many books out there that tell different versions or different perspectives of the story. For instance, I'm actually reading one right now. This is like the Peter Pan story, but from a perspective of Captain Hook and how he became Captain Hook. And even Disney has published a book with a different version of the Peter Pan tale. They do it with a lot of their old cartoon movies, even the Little Mermaid, although I haven't read that one yet. And it happens a lot with fairy tales in general, like when they made that, the first thing that comes to mind right now is that movie. It was like a dark fantasy movie based on Red Riding Hood with the actress, I don't know her name, the actress from Mean Girls, you know, with the weather predicting boobs. I don't remember her name. I'll remember it later. The point is, we've been doing this for so long and now people are getting upset. And why is that? Well, because this time they changed a character's skin color. Actually, wasn't there a similar thing with like one of the Hunger Games movies? I just think it's very stupid to make such a big deal about this, especially when people are saying things like mermaids can't be black. Oh, okay, prove it. Like, bring me your scientific evidence about these fictional creatures that never existed in the first place to prove me that they were white. If you want to make mermaids realistic, like, they shouldn't have human skin at all, or if they have, it should be all like wrinkled, like when I take a shower for too long. Also, if you look at the history of mermaids and the mermaid lore, you'll see that it actually started in, I believe, Africa. I'm not going into the history of that in this video because I'd like to keep this video short for a change. But if you are interested, then I would recommend you watch this video made by Rachel Oates. I'll put the link to that video down in the description. And you know, while you're at it, just watch some more of her videos because she makes very interesting, fun videos and I would really recommend her channel. Anyway, I think people are making way too big of a deal about this. I think to say that Ariel can't be black is very bigoted, but on the other hand, to praise Disney for being like woke and making their characters black might be a bit exaggerated as well, because I don't think Disney really cares about it. Personally, I don't think it should matter what a character looks like as long as they are well written and feel relatable to the audience. I do think that representation is very important. Personally, I think the best way is to just make new original movies like Encanto instead of all these live action reboots, which, to be honest, they're not very great anyway. But I get why they do it. I mean, nostalgia equals money, and I have to admit that it's kind of fun to see all these kind of different takes on the stories that we know. Which is why I'm so intrigued with all these Disney Twisted Tale books. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with the casting choice for this movie. However, we've only seen a teaser. We haven't seen the whole movie yet. We barely know anything about it, so that's why I can't really form an opinion about it, because I have to see the movie first. And that's also an issue that I have with this whole situation, is the fact that people are already judging the movie and the actress while they have barely seen anything of it. That's also why I wanted to speculate about the story a little bit, because we can't really judge the movie until we've seen it. But at least we know that Ariel can actually sing in this movie. I mean, no hate to Emma Watson, she's lovely, but I just don't understand why they made the decision to have an untrained singer as the lead of that movie. I think Emma Watson has a nice voice, but it wasn't right for that part. Not every voice is suitable for every type of singing. And the way they auto-tuned her voice, like, did they really just think on set, oh, we'll just fix it in post? Because that used to be a joke when I was in film school. Whenever we were filming on set and something went wrong, we would always say, oh, we'll just fix it in post, as a joke. Anyway, that's enough about Beauty and the Beast, sorry. Kind of ranting about it, but I really didn't like that movie. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this if you like this video and you would like to see more, then, you know, like and subscribe to my channel. That would really help me. I would like to know what you think of all of this, so leave comments, be nice, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Amanda Seyfried is the actress with the boobs. Okay, bye!